worldwide.
Hello everyone, I'm TG and welcome back to the House of Sleaze. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the open beta is over. After a rocky road of maintenance, it has finally come to a close. And you know what? All that maintenance was a good thing, because the last thing we want to see is the game go into full release and have all these matchmaking issues, etc, etc. So that's what a beta is for, is to make sure things like this don't go forward. What I'm here to talk to you guys about today is Miss Ada Wong. Now, I have already done, kind of like a quick and dirty guide for her during the closed beta, so go ahead and check that out right now if you have not already, because there's going to be some things that I don't cover here that I already covered there, and, vice versa. So this is more of a companion piece, if you will. What I'm going to talk about today is basically everything that makes Ada tick. Her strengths, her weaknesses, who she's good against, who she's bad against, and a way that you can exploit her skill set to pretty much rocket you to the top of the charts. Now, before we get into the shitty gritty of Ada's combat, let's go over her loadout. So, first of all, she has the Broom HC handgun. Now, this little bad boy, this is the sleeper handgun of the game, let me tell you. It has a smaller clip than any other handgun, so right off the bat, a lot of people just think, what the fuck? However, this little bad boy shoots fast, and it reloads fast. I would hazard to say it's probably the fastest handgun in the game. And the reason for that is, this is where Ada's going to get her regular DPS. This is her bread and butter, so to speak. She doesn't have an assault rifle like the other characters, so you're going to be focusing on just using your handgun mostly, and that is why, it's one of the reasons that Ada needs her vial canisters more than anyone. But more on that later. Another very important thing to mention about the Broom HC is its accuracy. Even when your reticle is not fully focused, your bullets are pretty much going to go where you want them to go. And the reason for that is, again, that factors into Ada's gameplay. She is a sniper. She's using her abilities and her weapons to pick off opponents from a distance. So you need pinpoint accuracy. So those of you who are playing on the PC, congratulations, because you already have a leg up when it comes to playing Ada. Now, my biggest piece of advice when it comes to Ada is do not sleep on the Broom HC. Don't be the guy who's just using the crossbow and not using her handgun. If you just use the crossbow, number one, you need to be the most accurate person on the planet. And number two, you're just not going to see the same DPS. You're not going to be able to take advantage of the stuns and the knockdowns that Ada has at her disposal. Next, I want to talk about Ada's crossbow. So the crossbow is unique. Now, it's unique in the sense that every other character has some kind of rapid fire option, with the exception of Leon, who has a shotgun, because his thing's kind of, mid-range melee, but that's another video that we'll get into down the road. The thing about the crossbow is it's got a single shot, and that means you got to be super accurate or you're going to waste your shot. That is offset by the fact that it reloads lickety-split, way faster than any assault rifle, way faster than Leon's shotgun. Another unique thing about the crossbow is whenever Ada uses her pipe bomb arrow ability, she will automatically switch to the crossbow. And there's a reason for that. It's part of her rotation. Now, damage-wise, the crossbow is an absolute killer. If you can get a headshot with this thing, any enemy is basically one shot away from death with any other conventional weapon. Now, a lot of you might think that's kind of like put all your eggs in one basket sort of thing, and it is to a certain extent, but remember, the crossbow is the most accurate weapon in the entire game. Across any character, the crossbow, once that reticle is focused, wherever you shoot, that's where it's going. It's not going to fly off, nothing like that. So keep in mind, if you are someone who's really good with accuracy, I highly suggest going with Ada Wong as your main character, because she, more than anyone, is going to benefit from that pinpoint accuracy. You can actually use the crossbow, if you're good, for sniping people across the map. They quite literally won't know what hit them.
Ooh, face!
So, I hope you're all listening, because there will be a test later. Now, what I want you guys to take away from Ada's loadout is this. On the surface, it might not seem that strong, but if you dive a little bit deeper and you take some time, and it doesn't really take that much time. This game is so fast-paced that really it's only going to take you 4 maybe 5 matches to really learn what makes Ada tick. So if you take into account all her intricacies, you will see that her loadout, while hard to master, is quite powerful. And I would say that Ada probably has the steepest learning curve of any character in the game currently, and quite frankly, that's why I love to play her. Alright, ladies and gents, now we're getting to the fun stuff. We're going to talk about Ada's skills. So first and foremost, the most important skill in her arsenal is the pipe bomb arrow. Now this differs a little bit than it did in the closed beta because they up the damage of the radius of pipe bomb arrow, meaning whenever you're shooting people at a distance and you get a big group of them, the damage drop off has actually been lowered. So you're going to be able to do more damage to the people inside of that circle. Sounds complicated, really isn't, I promise you. So what you're going to be using the pipe bomb arrow for is to rack up major damage. You shoot this bad boy into a group of enemies and every single one of them is going to take huge damage. They're going to get staggered and allow you to rain down some fucking fire from afar. This is great for interrupting big brawls and taking advantage of different situations. Now, another thing that I find pipe bomb very, very useful for, and this is something that I do often, is to get away. Like I've said, Ada is all about being an escape artist. So you can actually use pipe bomb to run away from BOWs. Now, how you do that is whenever there's a Nemi, whenever there's a Gamma, whenever there's a fucking super tyrant right on your bum, you turn around quickly, pipe bomb, and keep running. And you'll notice that that bioweapon will be staggered. So not only does it give you a little bit of time to get away, it also gives you time to lay in some suppressing fire, and you can actually use this to very easily destroy a Fat Molded, destroy a Gamma, destroy a Jack, and do some big damage against a Nemi or a Tyrant. Typically, you probably won't be able to take them down unless you're really skilled, but if the player using that BOW is a fucking monster, they're still probably gonna get you. However, in the right hands, this can become unstoppable.
Don't touch me, motherfucker.
I really encourage you guys to practice with this and get good with how to aim with it, because it is a little bit tricky because it's so fast to figure out where you're going to hit with it. But much like Claire's alternator or Chris's boulder punch, once you get it down, you're going to be able to replicate it over and over again. So next we're going to talk a little bit about the somersault kick. Now, they changed this from the beta again. What they've done is actually increase the range on it. It used to be so the range of the somersault was Ada's hitbox, so you actually had to be pretty much touching your opponent. They've changed it to be more in line with Leon's kick or the hot dogger or Hung's little stabby stab. So that means you've got a little bit more range to play with. It gives this thing a lot more versatility and makes it much more reliable when it comes to taking down opponents. So not only does the somersault do a nice chunk of damage, it also knocks people down. So just like any other knockdown ability in this game, once you knock them down, you've basically secured a kill unless you're under fire from somewhere else. Knockdown is such a big deal in this game, and Ada has it in spades. The somersault is so versatile in the sense that you can use it offensively, you can roll into people in somersault, you can use it defensively, you can somersault and roll away, or you can be real fucking cheeky and somersault a BOW, which, by the way, will stagger them. Not knock them down, obviously, but it will stagger them. Now, one of the things that makes somersault so great in my eyes is it works quite well in conjunction with her passive Espies Wisdom. So Espies Wisdom makes it so you get an extra dodge whenever you're in danger. Now, that's great because whenever you're using the somersault and you're in a tight spot, typically you're going to go down to danger. So you're actually going to be able to use this to get away and do damage on the way out. So it goes in line with a lot of Ada's abilities, which are pretty much about doing damage and getting the fuck out of there. Again, a lot of people slept on the somersault. They said it was one of the worst abilities in the game, and I never really thought that. However, I am very glad that they adjusted the range, because it makes it an absolute pain in the ass to deal with whenever an Ada knows how to use her somersault effectively. Basically, if you take anything away from this guide, what you're going to see is that an Ada who knows how to mesh her abilities properly with the playstyle of Ada, which is, you know, a spy sneaking in and out of combat, they will be absolutely unstoppable. I guarantee you, if this game ever gets leaderboards, the top 100 players will be Ada players. You can mark TG's words on that one. Now, lastly, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I believe to be the pierre de resistance of Ada gameplay, and that is her passive skill, Aspai's Wisdom. Now, what Aspai's Wisdom does is every single time that you go down to danger, you're going to get an immediate extra dodge. So, not only does Ada already have 3 dodges, which is more than any other female character in the game, she effectively has 4. Whenever she's under fire, she's able to dodge 4 times. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, most BOWs included, can match Ada's speed and agility. What makes this really, really cool is if you go down to danger and you dodge away into, say, a green herb, then you get shot again and go down to danger again, you immediately get another dodge. There's no cooldown on this thing. So if you're like under fire and you're constantly healing, I mean, it's rare, but you have perpetual dodges. So in my humble opinion, if this thing isn't the best passive in the game, it's pretty goddamn close. There could be an argument for Chris's passive being the strongest, but Aspai's Wisdom is definitely fucking up there. I'm telling you, this is key to Ada gameplay. This is what makes Ada work. All her weapons and her other skills are great whenever it comes to Ada's playstyle, you know, running around snaking kills. But Aspai's Wisdom, that's the meat of it. You're going to be dodging around so goddamn often, and if you can really be slick with it and understand the mechanics of weaving in and out of combat, nobody's going to be able to touch Ada. I can promise you that. I have had so many games where I'm Ada and so many games where I'm against an Ada, where it is just a goddamn chore to chase her down, to the point where you just go after someone else, quite frankly. What I can tell you is this, just based on my experience, anecdotally, whenever an Ada takes me down, the revenge kill that I need to get is the worst. Underline the worst experience I could possibly imagine. I would much rather have to go against anyone else to get my revenge kill. Because going against an Ada is just a goddamn chore. She's going to be running away, she's going to be stunning you, and not only does that leave you open for her to kill you and get a double kill, but it also leaves you open to other people's attacks. So quite frankly, you never want to be in a position where you chase Ada down. If she's around you, of course, go for that kill. But if you're going one-on-one, if you see multiple targets, let me tell you, don't go after that Ada. Because if they are worth their salt, you're not going to touch them. Now, with all that in mind, it's not all kissing Leon on the tram, let me tell you. Ada doesn't excel in absolutely every situation. Personally, she's my favorite, and I think she's probably the strongest if you know how to use her. However, there are characters that she's good against and she's bad against. There's also BOWs that she's good against and bad against. So I'm going to start with who she really excels against. First, let's say you run across a little Jiru Baruntine. That is probably who Ada is going to have the best chance against when it comes to one-on-one. And let me just preface all this by saying one-on-one is not Ada's strength. If you can avoid it, you should avoid it. However, if you come face-to-face with the Jill, she's not really going to have much at her arsenal because her landmines, non-issue when it comes to Ada. Because you're going to be keeping so much distance from her, it's not even going to matter. Now, if it's a smart Jill, she'll be placing mines behind her and shooting them herself to stop you. But as Ada, you're so quick and you can dodge so many times, you can out-dodge a Jill very, very easily because Jill only has 2 dodges. And Ada, in effect, has 4. So you're going to have no problem catching up to her. You're going to have no problem getting away from her landmines. And you're going to have no problem escaping if she decides she wants to slap you in the face with the dirty old hot dogger. In my opinion, Jill's hot dogger is simply outclassed by Ada's somersault. The only thing you want to keep an eye out for is if that Jill dodges into you and uses the hot dogger uppercut, because that will kill you in one shot. And actually, Jill's hot dogger normal attack will also kill you in one shot. They have nerfed the damage, but Ada's one of the characters that it will still kill, so you gotta be careful about that. However, if you're really keeping the pressure on like you should, that Jill's gonna be using her dodges to get away from you. Bottom line is Jill's loadout is just not attuned to deal with someone like Ada and their play style. Now, the next victim that Ada's going to have a little bit of fun with is Leon. And I just think, side note, that's hilarious. because Leon is such a fucking simp for Ada, and she just never gives him the time of day and just smack his bitch ass all over the place when it comes to reverse.
Ada, wait!
Now, don't get me wrong. A Leon can stop an Ada when it comes to close quarters combat, because like I said, his shotgun is fucking unbelievable. Probably the best weapon when it comes to mid to short range combat, because he will just shred through anything, and Ada doesn't have the health. In fact, she can actually be picked off from a mid range with 2 shots from the shotgun if that Leon knows how to aim. However, the reason I say she excels against him is Leon has no long range game. Even when he's using his dual wield, you're not going to get the DPS you need to take down a fast target like Ada. You're just not going to be able to target her and hit her accordingly. On top of that, Leon's health is low enough that a good Ada will just shred through him. The only thing you need to really be on the lookout for is his rookie spirit. So you'll know that's up whenever he glows green and he gets all kinds of little fart crystals around him. So that means he's gotten a little bit of a heal. Alternatively though, that also means he can go down quick. So if you see a Leon on the battlefield that you're not facing one-on-one and he's got the green glow, that means he's not going to be able to heal again. So make short work of him before his heal comes back up. The great thing about abilities with visual indicators like that is it gives you an opportunity to see when exactly their ability is off cooldown, when exactly it stops taking effect, and you can take advantage of that situation. Now, unlike other survivors, Ada really suffers against certain humans in certain situations. Usually, when it comes to the survivors, you're pretty much okay to deal with anyone else for the most part, but Ada, there's 2 people that you never want to tangle with one-on-one. The first of which is old Chrissy Poo. Now, the reason you don't want to really tango with Chris is because since Ada's all about speed, all about juking and jiving, getting in and out, Chris is going to throw a wrench at your goddamn plans because he's got that indomitable spirit. So that means he's effectively unable to be killed for about 5 seconds. Now, Ada's all about quickly getting her combos in and getting out of there so she's out of danger. This puts an absolute stop to that. It puts you in a situation where you actually now need to run away for just a little bit until you can do more damage. And let me tell you, whenever you're on the run, that's where Chris goddamn shines, because he will chase your ass down. He's got 3 dodges, he has his assault rifle, and he has his old 1-2 Joe Baker punch to the goddamn brain. So you really gotta look out whenever you're playing as Ada. Typically, if you see a Chris one-on-one, get the hell out of there. Wait until you can take advantage of them doing battle against other bioweapons, because that's what you're going to see a lot of Chris's doing. That's whenever they're not going to be paying attention to the survivors around them. Now, lastly, you never, and I mean never, want to go one-on-one with a Claire. Regardless of your situation. Get the hell out of there. The reason I say that is Claire is so fucking chonk. It's unbelievable, number 1. She has the highest health of anyone else in the game, and she can heal, and she can recover his stamina. And on top of all that, she can stun and shut down anyone, any survivor, any BOW. So unless you are a headshot savant with a crossbow and you can hit her 3 times in a row on top of a pipe bomb, I would say you're far past fucked. Her stun is just going to completely lock Ada down. It locks down almost anyone, but Ada's health isn't high enough that you can ever really survive that stun. And if you're chasing her down, she's just going to keep dodging, keep recovering with her adrenaline shot until her stun comes back up. And basically, what you want to be doing if you're choosing to chase down a Claire as Ada is you're going to internally be counting down her alternator's cooldown, because once you know what's up, you want to get the fuck out of there. So my advice is to just go. Live to fight another day. Your stun lock with your pipe bomb arrow and your somersault, etc., it's just not going to be up to snuff with a Claire whenever you go toe-to-toe. Now, the last thing I want to mention is our sneaky boy, old Hunksicle. Not much to say about him, except he would be the only survivor that I say is toe-to-toe with Ada. You know, they're pretty even. She's not going to do great against him. She's not going to suffer against him. He just kind of is. Hunk's always dangerous, so you want to watch your back, but there's not much to say when it comes to what he's going to do directly against Ada. Now, with all that said, let's quickly just talk about how exactly you're supposed to handle this dirty, dirty girl. Basically, all you want to be doing is getting up in her face. Ada's strengths come from being far away, keeping people far away, and taking advantage of situations that she's not really a part of. So the one way to shut that down is get all up in her grills. So, like I said, if you're using someone like Chris or Hunk, or even Jill with an automatic weapon, what you want to be doing is chasing her down and just blowing her face away. Now, a good Ada can still counter that with her somersault and her stuns, etc. But what you want to do is kind of keep her at arm's length in the sense that you don't want to get hit by her somersault, but you still want to be able to keep the pressure up. You need that Ada to be looking back at you when she's running away. So not only is she gonna kind of be blind to the front, but she's gonna be completely focused on stopping your assault. And let me tell you, you can keep it up longer than she can keep it up. Pretty much the golden rule is once you work through Ada's dodges, she is completely vulnerable. As someone who plays Ada as a main, I can tell you, there is nothing, absolutely nothing worse than not being able to confirm your kills to get those points whenever somebody is right on your tail. You might still be able to get away. You might be doing a great job keeping them away, but that's going to completely negate everything else in the match. You're not going to be able to focus on getting any kills because if somebody's chasing you like a Chris, like a Hunk, where they have this huge DPS, you are not going to be able to keep them down. And if you are, you've wasted too much time already. So boys and girls, if you are chasing down an Ada and you're thinking, oh my god, I can't do it, I can't go any further, rest assured, she can't go any further. You just have to push that little extra bit and you'll be able to take care of her. Because like I said, once her dodges are gone, she has absolutely no defense. She's too squishy to go one-on-one with anybody if she doesn't have her mobility. Now, I know all that was a lot of information, but down to brass tacks here. How exactly are you supposed to play Ada? Now, she's different from anyone else. And when I say that, I mean everyone, though they have their intricacies, they're pretty much run and gun. With the exception of maybe Jill. They all function in a similar way. Ada, on the other hand, she's all the fucking way out there. She is not focused on getting in your face, one-on-one confrontations, etc. She's all about being on the outskirts, picking people off, taking advantage of situations that she's not even really a part of. So in order to make that work, the most important thing, the most important advice I can give you when you play Ada is to get your viral canisters. Now, viral canisters, very important for everyone. They increase your damage, they give you access to powerful BOWs, but Ada, since all her skills are, pinpoint accuracy, low amount of shots, not really, like an assault rifle where you can just unload on someone, she needs her shots to count. So with 2 viral canisters, your crossbow is fucking decimate anybody. A headshot, you're gonna kill them. And if you don't kill them, it's real damn close. And since she doesn't have an automatic weapon, her Broom HC is gonna be a lot of your DPS, and those hits are gonna fucking hurt if you have 2 viral canisters. So I've said it before and I will say it again. Prioritize your viral canisters. Prioritize your viral canisters over a kill. Prioritize your viral canisters over getting a special weapon, because in the long run, it is going to help you. Not only does it help your damage, but when you do die, and come on, you're gonna die, you always want to be in the strongest BOW possible. To reiterate, if you are in a situation where you see a group of people fighting, and there's a viral canister maybe 10 steps away, maybe throw a pipe bomb, but before you really, hunker down and go for those kills, go for that viral canister if you don't have 2 already. Trust me, you're going to thank me in the long run. You're going to thank yourself in the long run. Now, that being said, when it comes to Ada's strategies or rotation, however you want to describe it, there's a couple different ways you can go about it. Me, personally, I use the Broom HC as my DPS. That's pretty solid, but if you are playing... if you're playing on the PC, you got a mouse and keyboard, that crossbow is going to be your best friend. Because you need accuracy to make that crossbow work. If you know that you can, aim pretty well and get that headshot damage, go for the crossbow. Keep going for that crossbow because it reloads so fast that you're going to be able to just decimate. But if you're not so confident in your aiming, you can still use the crossbow as part of your rotation. However, you want to rain down the pain with the Broom HC. It is, I'm telling you, the sleeper pistol of the game because it does so much damage. It's so fast. It reloads fast. You can really get some big damage. Not as much as you would raining down the fire from an automatic rifle. But you're going to do so much damage, especially with your vial canisters, that people, they're just going to drop. They're going to drop like flies. Except for that pesky Claire, of course. So typically, how I go about a confrontation depends on where I'm meeting my enemy. If it's far away, if I'm getting, in the nitty gritty of somebody else's fight, I'm going to shoot a pipe bomb. Next, I'll use my arrow because pipe bomb automatically equips your crossbow, and then you're going to start raining down the damage with the Broom HC. However, that's not always possible. Sometimes you are going to get into a situation where you got to go one-on-one. So in that case, I would start your rotation with the somersault, rain down with the Broom HC, and pretty much that's going to kill them. However, if it does not, you have the pipe bomb and then the crossbow, and if they're not dead after that, something is amiss. Let me tell you. But of course, you can play her any way you want. It's your game. I'm not your real fucking mom. You don't have to listen to me. Just remember, if you feel like you're losing out one-on-one, don't fret. Don't fret about running away. That's Ada's thing. And on top of that, if you are, not the most accurate person and you're playing her where you're just shooting a crossbow over and over again and you're like, damn it, I can't rack up the kills because you're playing her as if you're a Chris or a Hunk where their secondary weapon is their main DPS and you're thinking, what the fuck's wrong with Ada? Remember, that's not where her DPS comes from. She is more intricate than that. You have to play differently, or you're not going to succeed as Ada. And quite frankly, a lot more people, just based on how the open beta was going, are playing Ada, and I'm seeing a lot more of them doing well with Ada, so I think people are finally starting to understand that Ada is the way to go. And like I said, if there is ever leaderboards in this game, top 100 players will be the Ada. I guarantee it. Unless some of the other characters that they come out with at launch are, their own kind of thing. Now, lastly, before we go, I just want to cover BOWs and Ada. Now, initially, in my first Ada guide, I said that Ada struggles against BOWs. And I've kind of reassessed that. She does still struggle, but so does everyone. Meaning, nobody really wants to go up against a Super Tyrant. No one wants to go up against a Nemesis. You're always kind of like, oh shit, I gotta get the hell out of here. However, Ada, if you're really skilled and you really think about her skills, you can keep the pressure up on a bioweapon while running away. So what I mean by that is using her 4 dodges, using her pipe bomb, you can pretty much keep any bioweapon at arm's length. Her pipe bomb stuns, her somersault stuns, and her dodging allows her to get away from bioweapons even when you're taking damage. Because when you go down to danger, you're going to get another dodge. So it puts you into the situation where you're always on the run, but the POW is actually a little bit farther behind you, and you can slowly but surely whittle down their health. The only way you're not going to be able to really do that is if the person playing a Super Tyrant or the person playing a Nemesis is really on top of their game. It's not going to work every time, and it's very, very dependent on whether or not other people are waiting in the wings to pick you off. But quite frankly, her struggles against a bioweapon are significantly reduced from what they once were upon first look. And I can tell you need convincing. I can tell you don't believe me. So stay tuned in the channel because I'm going to be showing you guys quite a few Ada matches because I played the hell out of her in the open beta, and you can kind of see all these strategies in the works. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Miss Ada Wong. So I hope this guide helps you guys out a little bit, kind of put in your head what Ada's style is if you haven't already played her, and kind of what I wanted to do here is convince you that she's not bad. She's not as bad as people say by any stretch of the imagination. We're seeing a lot more people in the open beta playing as Ada, which is just great because that means they've decided to try her out themselves and not just listen to the opinion of someone who doesn't know how to play her or doesn't enjoy playing as them. And I think that is really, really important for any character, not just Ada. You got to get out there and play them yourself. Form your own opinion. see who fits your playstyle. If you don't like this kind of stealthy, waiting in the wings action, don't use Ada. If you want someone who's a little more, you know, tanky and in the brawl fighting, go for a Hunk, go for a Chris. But the most important thing I can say is to just make your own opinion. So that's the guide. I hope it helps you guys out just a little bit. Let me know down below if you agree, if you disagree, what you disagree with, or just what your thoughts are on Ada and the Reverse Open Beta in general. Of course, lastly guys, if you love Reverse, if you love Resistance, if you cannot wait for Ari Village, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already, because I have so much coming for all 3 of those games and many, many more. I hope you guys stick around the House of Sleaze, and I hope old TG could have helped you just a little bit. So as always, I'm TG. If you like what you saw, you know what to do. If not, meh. Keep it sleazy, and I'll see you all on May 7th.